Okay, here's one of the fish we caught. Little tiny guy. We're going to put him back in the water really quickly. Okay, release him back in.
Also on your in your stream survey, I've also included a microinvertebrate data sheet. The scientists use this when they're using the nets to catch different species. And then they tally the total, and over time they look at the differences in populations to see if they're increasing or decreasing. A lot of these animals are what we consider bioindicators, and bioindicators are animals that will be decrease in population at the first signs of pollution. So they're really good indicators on how healthy the stream is. As you can see, there are fingernail clams, snails, all types of arthropods, different types of insects, and larvae. And this is during the springtime in Alabama rivers. You're going to find a lot of mayfly larvae, dragonfly larvae, and also all of the aquatic worms are very prolific at this time of year.
You'll have one of these stream surveys that will be uploaded to you, so that is what you'll be turning in to me. And hopefully you'll be paying close attention so you can mark off the things that you see on the stream sheet.
You can see that every time there's a rainstorm and limbs fall into the creek, they just become dams for trash and debris. This particular one has a plastic bottle and paper cup from the local restaurant.
One of the questions on your stream survey talks about the clarity of the water, and it's obviously very clear here as we're looking down and able to see the fish that are swimming by. For those of you who haven't been at Shades Creek, you can see it's very peaceful, and it seems odd to know that the Brookwood Hospital is just above us to our right, as well as Target, and the whole Brookwood Mall is very close, but it's very peaceful and tranquil down here.
Talking about the fingernail clams, and this is a really good example. While this one's not a living animal inside, these guys are bivalves, and which means there are two parts to their shell. So when they're alive, they're closed like this. And like I said, they are filter feeders, so they open up and filter the water through their body. So they like to live in moving streams because that's how they stay alive. And that is another piece of trash that we found in the stream. We always try to, this looks like it's a doorknob or door pull. We'll take that back with us though and try to repurpose it. This particular area is evidence of an old intake valve when the Environmental Protection Agency of Alabama, ADEM, which is Alabama Environmental Protection Agency, came in and started doing these stream surveys. They put up intake valves, and this is to allow scientists to measure the amount of rainwater that comes, or what we would consider runoff, rainwater runoff that you'll see in, along the sidewalks and along ditches after a rainstorm. This particular one is damaged, but they're all along these particular areas along the stream about every quarter mile or so. And scientists would come out and check these as they, after particular rainstorms, to find out exactly how many gallons per minute were flowing into this particular stream. Our last rainstorm in Birmingham was on Monday. Tuesday night, actually, I'm sorry. And today is Sunday afternoon, and it is still, this particular drainage is still flowing into the stream, as you can see. underneath this particular area of the river, you can see where it's just, or the stream, it has just absolutely eroded away. This runoff is coming from a shopping mall up above. If you look up in the trees, I don't know if you can see, there's a plastic bag, trash bag, just hanging in the trees. It shows you how high this particular body of water gets just with a rainstorm. That bag has water in it still, and so that tells us that that is from this last particular rainstorm. Question 10 on the stream survey is the presence of litter in the stream. And of course, like I said earlier, that this particular stream, Shades Creek, starts at the the Mountain Brook Golf Course, and of course there's golf balls that litter this particular stream. The reason why that is put on the stream surveys, all of these items are sources of pollution. They can be harmful to the animals that live here, and they're also we want to make sure that people understand that throwing the trash out the window will eventually find its way down here. So throughout our trip today, we're going to be pulling up different things that we find in the river. I hope that if you ever visit one of your local watersheds, that you will also take along your handy dandy trash bag, and make sure that while you're there with your visit enjoying the river, that you'll also do a little bit to help the environment and pick up any trash that you might see. Along the banks, not at our Tennessee Prince, but you can see there are some animal tracks. These are actually raccoons. They come down at night to feed. Looks like over here there may have been a snake that entered the water. As you can see, its path. This particular area has a resident alligator turtle. I don't know if he's going to come out today and let us see him. Let's see if we can see him. Beetles and things that I want all of us to be careful about when we enter the stream today is that a lot of these rocks are, of course, covered in algae. Algae is formed anywhere where there is sunlight. So please be careful. That will make these rocks slippery. Look at the bottom. One of the questions on your survey is how the stream bed, what it is made up of. And it asks you if the composition is cobbles, gravels, boulders, bedrock, or sediment. This particular area is made up of cobbles and gravel. As you can see, boulders are anything over 10 inches, and we do have some bedrock that has been brought up along the riverbank over on along the stream bank on the other side. Also look for the biodiversity in this river. You'll see lots of small mussel shells. This particular stream is really healthy. There are lots of fingernail mussels here. Alabama is one of the most biodiverse states as far as their freshwater mussels are concerned. There's also tons of little minnows swimming around today, and we've already seen a few darters on the other side of the stream. That also lets us know that this is a very healthy stream now since its preservation, and we want to make sure that it stays that way. Here we found another, this is a light fixture. It looks like an industrial light that came off of something. See the wires coming out of it at the back. Of course, this is eroding, and beer can over here. trash bag. I don't think we can put the light up. Go. We were talking earlier about the larva. This is actually a dragonfly larva. In a couple of weeks, this guy will grow wings, and you can tell because he's already developing his 6 legs. Already starting to get the head like a dragonfly, but they live in the water. Super cool. Put him back. We were talking earlier about the clarity of the water, and as you can see, there is a lot of silt along the bottom of this stream bank, or the stream. When you walk through the stream, it causes the silt to move around and makes the water extremely cloudy. Another larva, some type. These particular areas, that's actually a little leech. Look, you can see his mouth. He's trying to move and find a place to attach to me. Let's see if I can get him to turn over and we can look at his mouth. See the attachment areas. Lots of worms. You can see. Of course, worms are annelids. Those particular worms are annelids, which means they're segmented like an earthworm. They actually take oxygen in through their skin, so they have to keep their skin moist. So you're going to find those all along the banks. I was hoping that we would find some salamanders. This particular area of Alabama is home to the spotted salamander, which is an endangered species. And this is their migration time, and this is actually one of their migration paths along this particular stream. So I kept hoping every time I turn over a rock that we actually might see one. Ooh, there's a big fat earthworm. Some beetles.
You could actually see where the worms have gone through the mud.
Yeah. Something probably lived down in that hole. That was a good shelter. As you can see, there's an entrance on this side. Maybe a big crayfish.
All right, what did we find?
We found a sign that says phone on it.
It's a phone booth.
Here's one of the fingernail clams that's living. As you can see, the shell is shut. Put our tennis ball down that we found. He'll open up when he's in the water, and the water will flow freely through his body. He is from the, he's a mollusk. Super important to the health of this particular stream. We'll put him back in the water.
Let's take a look at all the trash that we found today. We have a garbage bag full. So it's important to remember that when you're out not to discard garbage, because it often ends up in streams. The stream is a great place to bring your kids on a warm summer day, let them cool off in the water, and have them appreciate the stream and why it's so important to keep it clean.